What's up, Pod Pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are listening to Podcasting Business School. It's the show where I teach podcasters how to love your podcast like a hobby and build it like a business. This is a very special podcast audit episode. Got my Pod Pal Shelly here from the Educated, Empowered, Inspired podcast. Shelly, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Adam.
All right, let's start with a goal. Let's set a target. Let's say we're having a conversation 6 months from today. Everything is going extremely well with your online brand, with your business, with your show. Paint a picture of what that might look like 6 months from now.
Well, I would like to 5x or more my downloads within the 30 days. I would love to create more clients. My podcast serves as a top of funnel awareness, and I would love to bridge more of those community members into actual clients into my coaching services and programs.
You sound like my ideal person that I love having on this show. Okay. What's in your mind, what's the number one thing that's keeping you from making those things happen right now? Is it a lack of knowledge in an area, or are we trying some things and they aren't quite working? What would you say a potential roadblock might be right now?
Well, I really feel it's probably the getting my show optimized for searchability. I've been consistently dropping episodes since I launched a year and a half ago, and I've been consistently marketing on social media. So my effort-based marketing is, there. I just probably could do it better and really work on the searchability part.
Okay, cool. So the organic discoverability. Well, let's dive into that a little bit first then. So with a name like Educated, Empowered, Inspired, the two main questions I'm asking are who is being educated, empowered, and inspired, and what are they being educated, empowered, inspired about? So I think
Okay.
adding a little bit around that could be helpful. Like who's your ideal listener / client? That like what are some descriptive terms of those people?
All right. I work with female entrepreneurs over 40, and they're business owners, solopreneurs, service providers, and they're really struggling with their business. They are really good at what they do, but they don't understand how to market effectively to bring in the clients to actually get the sales to create the income they need for their business. So I usually work with someone about 3 to 5 years into business. They've been doing all the things, throwing spaghetti at the wall, and they need someone to just kind of come in and help them create a strategy and a system and organize and a plan and just help them with their marketing.
Okay. And with marketing, are you focusing on any specific areas of marketing? Is it like social media, email marketing, anything in particular?
I primarily work with list building. So I have a course called From Social to Sales to teach them to take their community from social media into paying clients via a list builder with an email system. And so that's my primary. Most of my clients that are my ideal clients avatar, they're just relying on social media, and I want to take them to the next level and help them really grow that list that can create that income for them.
Okay. Now you get my wheels turning here, Shelly. Okay. You've got some of my favorite search terms, aka keywords, that we can use to draw people into your world. Um, email marketing, online marketing, email list, email, like having the combination of email marketing and list and building, like email marketing, email list building. Awesome. Online entrepreneurship, business, online business. All those words are awesome. And we want to infuse as much of those into your branding as we possibly can, specifically with the name of your show, with the description of your show, and with your episode titles. So with the name Educated, Empowered, Inspired, I know you listen to my show. Have you added a title extension yet to that?
I have.
I
It is.
figured you had.
It's only been there for about 2 or 3 weeks, but I've added marketing and business tips for service providers, entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs.
Okay. Um, say that again. One more
Marketing
time.
and marketing and business tips for service providers, entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs.
Okay. Do you think that, with marketing, could we put online marketing or could we put email marketing? Either or, would either one of those make sense for your brand? Because if we can go from marketing to email marketing or online marketing or both, that's going to be better as far as like the search term itself. So would one of
As
those
far
apply?
as as far as the show, it really we talk more than just email. So maybe online marketing might
Okay.
be more comprehensive.
Yeah. So I would put online in front of marketing, 'cause that's a great, like, then you'll pull up, like, when people search for Amy Porterfield's podcast, Online Marketing Made Easy, you could pull up into that feed, and all of a sudden
Mm.
we've got Shelly up here as another flavor to look at doing here. So, business, entrepreneurship. So you're hitting a lot of those keywords in there. I really think that, like, in your host description, let's make sure that you have, email marketing and email list building, those words in your host description. And I'm sure you've done podcast episodes on those topics, but make sure that those phrases are in the title of those episodes too. Sometimes people get, I've done this in the past. We get kind of cute with, like, the way you kind of talk around the actual subject instead of just naming what it is that you're talking about. So I think those are strong keywords that you want to use. And then, how long, you said, how you just been doing the title extension for a few weeks now?
Yes, probably 3 weeks.
Okay. Have you seen any uptick yet with the downloads?
Well, I combine that with your scorecard and your 72 hours. So there's been a lot of things at play here.
Yeah.
So yes, but I don't know which one is specifically working, if
Okay.
or if it's probably all three of them together.
Okay. So that's good that we're noticing an uptick, and continue to monitor that. And the next level, if you kind of notice, like, oh, we're getting stuck, um, what you could do is look to push the subtitle. I mean, you can do a couple different things. Like, I'm looking at this in a different way now than even just a few weeks ago. 'Cause I'm getting ready to start a show this summer with my son, and we're going to try this strategy. But you could take educated, empowered, inspired, leave that as the name of the show, but basically take the subtitle and put it first, and then
Mm,
colon educated, empowered, inspired. And you can still have that kind of featured in your art and everything like that. But the first word in the title carries more weight than the rest of the title from a discoverability standpoint. So, like, Amy Porterfield's podcast is Online Marketing Made Easy. So the fact that online marketing is the first thing, or in my show, podcasting is the first word, business is the second, like, having the really important big key search terms at the front of the title makes a difference. So you could have that online marketing tips for blah, 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 colon educated, empowered, inspired. You could just flip that in the name uh, section of your host, and that could bump you up another notch. Does that
okay.
make sense what I
Yeah,
just said there? Okay. So
absolutely.
I've never described that on the show before, but it's definitely something I'm like, 'cause in the art, you can still have the name featured how it is now if you wanted to. So that's still recognizable if people are searching that or whatever. But just figuring out a way to have a really important keyword as the first thing listed on that title line, that can create a nice big bump. Okay.
Okay.
Um, cool. So I think letting all that kind of soak in and take effect, and the more episodes you release under that name with the new terms that you're kind of fishing in those ponds and bringing people in that are searching business or entrepreneurship or online marketing. Now we're pulling them into your world, and those are your ideal listeners slash customers. To kind of build that community client bridge, we need to look at expert positioning. So, what are we doing solo episodes? Like, what type of content are we doing? Interviews, solo episodes, coaching episodes? What type of content are you rolling out currently?
Right now, I'm doing 50% solo, which are more teaching type podcast, and 50% interviews.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So I think that keep rolling with both of those, but I would also look at what we're doing here. Um, I think you could do really well, especially if you went niche and not do like a general business coaching thing, but you could have almost like series where maybe you're launching an email list offer or something like that, or a course or coaching protocol, and you're going to do a 2 month uh, email list building audit, live coaching, and or list building strategy audit, or blueprint or roadmap, whatever you call it, and do what we're doing for a couple of months on your show as you're promoting the new offer, the new lead magnet, or the new call to action, basically kind of marrying the topic of this style of an episode with the CTA that you're wanting to promote on of the month or whatever. And I think you could do really well with like, let's imagine you do one on lead magnets and list building, and you're like, all right, let's look at your current stuff. What does that look like? Let's look at your opt-in page, and let's look at your funnel, and let's see if things are converting or not. And you can kind of do a little bit of an audit there and show off what it is that you do. That's compelling stuff. And those people that sit in that seat will convert over into being clients. But just the more of that you can dump into your RSS feed, it's magic for your business. Like, nothing has helped my business more than having, I've got, I think, 150 plus of these podcast audits in my feed. And you said, you listened to a bunch of them already. And like, this is the proof that just positioning yourself as that expert, coaching, giving your listeners a little bit of a taste test of what it's like to actually work with you. And like, for all you listen in, like what I'm doing here with Shelly, this is how I coach people. Like, this is me looking at the problem, assessing it, providing solutions. And then the only difference between free and paid is now with the paid one, I'm following up, and there's more than one session, and there's a course involved, and there's, a lot more resources, I guess. But like, this is what it is like to work with me. So I want you to show that off in your version of this as well. So any thoughts on that strategy?
I love that. I've been trying to figure out how to, I mean, once I get in front of people and can coach them, whether I usually can convert them pretty easily. So I don't know why I didn't think of that a long time ago, but it's a brilliant idea.
Well, good. And honestly, I would just think about the different types of offers that you had. Look at it like a launch. A lot of businesses are like, okay, the next thing I'm talking about and promoting is this course. Okay, whatever the topic of that is, dial that back into what's the taste test audit style coaching episode that I could do to give people a little bit of an appetizer towards that offer. It's the same topic. If they like this, they're going to love that. And do a series of coaching, and then promote that on social media. Like, hey, who wants some free coaching on building your email list, or who wants free coaching on your sales page? I'm doing 8 sales page audits live on my show. That's the price of admission. You got to come on my show live, but you can shout out your sales page on the show. So you get that little carrot you can dangle out in front of them as well. And that's going to work. And I've often thought about doing that with this show. I probably will at some point. I just don't sell things that often. Like, if I sold more stuff, then I would definitely do that. If I was launching a new thing, maybe I would use that strategy. I've done it with live streaming for sure on Instagram, but I think that if you're going to kick off, if I was starting this all over again, what I just described to you is exactly what I would do. I'd go, okay, I could do a download growth audit instead of just a podcast audit, or I could do like a podcast audience engagement audit, or a podcast monetization audit, and be, I think, more specific with these types of episodes, the better. And I think that it'll convert over into the things. Then in the follow-up, you can be like, hey, I know we talked about this. This was the topic. I'm going to launch this thing. It's 6 months away from launch, but I can get you early access, and I'll give you a discount code since you came on the show. And a lot of people just convert over from that. It's kind of a little thank you from you, as the influencer educator, and they've already had that little taste. I mean, with me, a lot of people do these sessions and they're like, I feel the momentum. I want to keep it going. What are my options here? And we have that conversation down the road. So that making sense?
Yes, I love it.
Okay. So I think, again, with you, the recipe is one part organic discoverability with the right words in the title, the show notes, the episodes. Then another part, expert positioning, showing off what you do. And then it's just got to be consistency over time. It may happen fast for you. Like, I've had clients that their 4th coaching style episode, like, I signed a $10,000 client. I'm like, yes, please record a testimonial for me. Like, that happens every once in a while. But more often, people are going, hey, I've done 12 of these and nobody's become my client yet. I'm like, just hang in there. The magic is in the volume, and get to 20 episodes, get to 25, get to 50. For me, that's when I really noticed the difference, when I had 50 podcast audits in my RSS feed. And as I was growing my brand, growing my show, speaking on more stages, speaking on larger stages, people get dumped into that ecosystem and they're just binge listening to all that expert positioning. And then this is where I see them converting over into like $2,000 plus offers without a discovery call, because they just hear me coach and coach and coach and coach. And I still do discovery calls, and I, sometimes people need that, and that's cool too. But I think that this is just something that you kind of hunker down, put your head down, and just go, I got to get a bunch of these out. And, bottom line, it's great content for your audience. They're going to love it. They're going to get so many ideas because you, Shelly, coming out of my audience, asking me questions, I guarantee there's a dozen people that are listening that have the same interest, the same problem, same questions as you. And they're going, I've talked about this before, but never from this perspective. And now it really clicks. So, I talk about coaching style episodes all the time, but maybe the way that you asked it and your experience level and the position you're coming from matches them. So this is a huge win for the audience as well. And it'll be the same thing for your show. That makes sense?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Now let's talk about offers a little bit. Like what do you got on the platter of offers that we can put out there to where, I want to actually get some tangible coaching episode series topics that we could potentially do. So I know you do list building, things like that, but what actual offers do you have for people that want to become your clients?
So my signature course is From Social to Sales. I launch it twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And that's the 30-day, basically, email boot camp. You go from nothing to a full-fledged list building with email strategy in 30 days. So that's my course. I have a one-on-one coaching where they can sign up and just do one-on-one coaching with me at any time. And then I also have a group membership. It's small, it's high level, it's not a larger membership, so the price point's a little higher, but I keep it under 10 people, and they get lots of one-on-one, you know, interaction with me and help with their business. So it's a really great value, maybe for the people who can't afford to do the one-on-one coaching.
Great. Okay. So you do the signature offer, you open cart twice a year. All right.
Yes.
So I would start there and go, okay, I know the dates of those two open cart periods, and I would work backwards for maybe 4 to 8 weeks and go, all right, I want to do a coaching style episode. So maybe you add an extra episode during those weeks, like I do with the Friday podcast audits, or you mix them in. Like you could do a 15-minute session and just add it to the end of your normal episode for 8 weeks. And that's
Okay.
just, or you do a solo and add it to the end of the solo. I'm like, and now our featured coaching session of the week, 15-minute coaching round, and you just add it to the episode. So it doesn't have to be a separate episode. We just want it in there in the RSS feed and have that building towards that launch, because and then have it aligned with, so with your signature offer, that's when I would do like the email marketing, email list building, audit sort of a thing, and going, oh, my next cohort starts in 5 weeks. Would love to have you in there. And here's a little discount code for you, or here's a bonus, whatever. Maybe they get a bonus 15-minute session with you or something like that. Like I like to sweeten the deal a little bit when we're using
Mhm.
this type of an episode to drive and do an offer. So I would align those. And then you go, okay, out of that time frame, and you want to get some more one-on-one coaching consulting clients, and go, okay, what's another topic that I really handle really well within that framework within my one-on-one coaching? And you go, okay, maybe it's more funnel stuff or sales pages or whatever. And you can kind of do an audit or a coaching style session with that topic for a few weeks and pitch into, with that, I would pitch into a discovery call and go, hey, like as far as like the call to action on those episodes, I would drive into a discovery call. If you've ever thought about working one-on-one, I'm now taking one-on-one clients. Let's sign up for a discovery call and think about working together. And then you could, do a sweet deal offer to the people that do those episodes with you as well. And then when you get spots open for your group membership, you could do the same thing and kind of drive into it and look at a different topic. And kind of, now you may, after like a yearly cycle of doing this, being like, wow, the list building ones just crushed to the downloads. Like they converted really well. You may be like, I just need to do these all the time. So that's something that you could discover. And I would be fearless in doing that, like lean into that and kind of be experimental at first, and then find out what really works. And if you're like, wow, this one style of coaching episode does 10x the downloads of these other ones, then I think we found our winner that we could stick with on a regular basis. That sounded okay?
That's I love it. I really enjoy the organization you put around that.
Well, and that'll keep you entertained too. Um, like with this type of an episode, I've got a little bit of variety. We talk about growth, we talk about monetization, we talk about audience engagement. Um, but and it's from different angles. But I think doing like little sprints like that intrigues me. Going like,
Mm.
ooh, that sounds fun to me already. I want to do an email list building, coaching style episode for 4 to 6 weeks. Deliver on that. Use that energy to drive it towards an offer that makes sense. So yeah, I think, and then of course, if you want to go next level with that, especially with your signature offer, really look at marrying your solo episode content, creating what I call a content cycle. So a content campaign cycle, and going, okay, these solo episodes also, those topics need to be attractive to my ideal buyer of this program. So kind of touching on those topics to kind of lead in and do a CTA. Hey, it's open carts coming soon on the signature course. If you're interested in X, Y, and Z, then this is the thing for you. Make sure you stay tuned. We're opening cart on whatever date, and off we go. So, yeah, so I think you can marry that up and you'll do really well with it. Just getting organized with our content like this and making it all kind of synergize and work together. I feel like not enough service providers that are trying to use their show to
Mhm.
get clients are doing this. And it can be so powerful. It's like you can put calls to action out there, and that's okay. But if you use the content and the title to draw in the exact ideal listener that should be doing the paid thing, and you do that over and over and over, and then the call to action is aligned with that, and then maybe we sprinkle on a little audio testimonial from somebody that's done it before, so a previous
Mm.
participant of that. All right, we sprinkle a little bit of those herbs and spices in there. Now we've got that recipe of like, wow, they're seeing you coach on the topic that's going to be delivered in the signature offer. They just heard an audio testimonial of somebody that did it on the last cohort, and they're already crushing it. And then you've got the singular specific call to action for, when you open cart. I think that's a recipe for success. Sound good?
That I mean, that's the world I live in, and it's so nice to have someone else look at my business and lay it out for me. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm really excited for you because I feel like your journey reminds me of my journey. And I know, like, I can just tell by talking to you that you're very confident in the education that you're putting out there. And I can also tell that you're more than slightly annoyed that the right people aren't finding you, and not from like an ego standpoint, but from a standpoint of, you can help these people. There are people to be freaking helped, and they aren't finding you, and you can't figure out why that is. Do I feel like I'm hitting the target here?
You you took the words out of my mouth.
So, because that's where I was like, I
Yes.
know I can help. I mean, just looking at like my weight loss podcast, when I first started for 3 years, I had nobody listening. I wasn't making any money. But I was like, I've lost over 100 pounds. I helped my hometown lose 35,000 freaking pounds, and I got nobody listening to me on the,
Mhm.
uh, the podcast. And I was just pissed about it constantly. I'm like, why? I can help so many people. And then I started figuring out all these things, and things changed. So the good news is you've already made some positive changes. Your trajectory is shifting already. Um, you just joined my membership, so I'm really excited about that, to welcome you into the Download Growth Club. So that's going to be awesome. We're going to get to work together and really get boots on the ground, get in the trenches, lock arms, and walk through this. So good things are to come out of that. But I feel like you're heading in the right direction. You're thinking about the right things. So in podcasting, I just saw the stat. One of my students just posted the infographic. Like, we're over 4 million, almost 5 million podcasts that have been launched, but only 10% of those are active, with like an episode in the last 90 days, more than 10 episodes. So really there's like still less than 500,000 active, consistent podcasters out there. So for people like you and me, we're confident in our content. We know we can help people. And honestly, we're kind of pissed that the right people aren't finding us. We just got to stick with it. As long as we don't quit. That was my superpower 8 years ago. I just
Mhm.
didn't quit. And I just kept churning and figuring it out. Micro adjustments, some big adjustments, some more micro adjustments, moments of frustration, moments of awesomeness, but just hacking it out, because most people won't. And we rise to the top out of that. So that's your moment of motivation, Shelley. You
Thank
fired
you.
up? You ready to run through a brick
Yes, I'm
wall?
ready.
All right. Excellent. So, um, we covered a lot in this session today. So I want to make sure that we give you the spotlight. So in case people want to reach out, maybe they want to do, they're like, hey, this list building audit thing kind of sounds like something that I need. I need to reach out to Shelly. Where do they go to contact you, your website, your show, and social media, all the things? Go ahead and dish that out for us.
Awesome. Well, my show is Educated, Empowered, Inspired. I am Shelly Niehaus, Niehaus, on all social channels, and shellyniehaus.com for a website. So all those places, just send me a message, and I would love to connect with you.
All right, reach out. I know somebody out there is like, I need this audit. I need it. I need some list building. And it sounds like Shelly has got her list building game going on pretty strong. So reach out, support her show, and let them know that you heard her on the show here. All right. If you all want to join me for an upcoming podcast audit session, just like Shelly, head on over to the website. It is free. Go to www.podcastingbusiness.school, click on the freebie button, and get on the calendar for a podcast audit. And with that, Pod Pals, I'm going to send you all out into the world wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We will see you next time.